We are going to present you our presentation for the Coursework one with Aymar, Nicolas, Luna Jane, and myself. This is how we choose to structure the presentation. So let's start with the introduction.
So, as time goes on, globalization is gaining momentum, and many large companies are trying to gain ground in one way or another, and most are looking to expand into other countries. In the face of the desire to expand, there are unfortunately many differences in the world, challenge in terms of culture, market, or even management of, because today everybody wants to export. As of October 31, 2022, Walmart has 10,586 stores and clubs in 24 countries operating under 46 different names. The company operates under the name Walmart in the United States and Canada, as Walmart de México y Centroamérica in Mexico and Central America, and as Flipkart Wholesale in India. In 2018, Walmart acquired a majority stake in Indian e-commerce company Flipkart Marketing, its entry into the Indian retail market. This move was seen as a strategic one by Walmart to tap into the rapidly growing Indian market, which is expected to become the world's third largest consumer market by 2030. So this presentation explored the challenges faced by Walmart that are cultural and macro-environmental as operating in the Indian market. It also showed the impact of globalization and the strategy and theory applicable to this case.
Okay, so let me present you our PESTEL analysis of India and the US. So PESTEL is an acronym for a tool used to identify the macroeconomical forces facing an organization. The letters stand for political, economic, social, technological, environmental, and legal. The supermarket industry in India and the USA is highly competitive and influenced by various external factors. Conducting a pestle analysis can help us understand the different factors that affect this industry. This analysis will provide insights into the opportunities and challenges facing supermarkets in these two countries. By using this information, we can make informed decisions regarding market entry, expansion, and strategy. The first one is the political aspect. The USA government promotes free market competitions. Regulations are in place to protect consumer rights and promote fair competition. The Indian government has historically implemented protectionist policies, which can make it difficult for foreign businesses to enter the market. In the USA, you have the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017, which lowered corporate tax rates. It has encouraged investment and growth in the retail industry. In India, you have the Goods and Services Tax. It was implemented in 2017 as part of the government efforts to liberalize the economy. I'm going to talk about the World Bank's Ease of Doing Businesses Index. For the USA, it has a score of 83.7 out of 100. It indicates a relatively favorable business environment. In India, the score is 63.0 out of 100. It indicates that the business environment is improving, but still has some challenges. Now I'm going to talk about the economical aspect. The USA has a large and stable economy with a GDP of 21.4 trillion US dollar in 2019. The Indian economy is growing rapidly with a GDP of 2.9 trillion US dollars. The retail industry is a significant contributor to the USA economy, employing over 29 million people and generating 5.7 trillion US dollar in sales in 2019. In India, the retail industry is a significant contributor to the economy, with 10% of the GDP coming from it, and employing over 46 million people in 2019. the USA GDP per capita is relatively high in 2020 at 63,000 US dollar. It indicates that consumers have some disposable income and are ready to spend it on groceries. However, the average income in India is much lower, with a GDP per capita of 2,000 US dollar in 2020. Now, the social aspect. The US is a diverse country with a multicultural society. This diversity represents opportunities for supermarkets to cater to different cultural preferences and tastes. India is also a diverse country with many languages, religion, and cultures. Supermarket must consider these differences when developing marketing strategies and product offering. In addition, consumer preferences are shifting toward healthier and more sustainable products, which has led to the growth of organics and natural foods, because more and more people are concerned about their consumption. The Indian consumer market is also transforming quickly as consumers become more environmentally and health conscious.
I'm going to introduce you the two other aspect. So technological aspect for the US. The US is one of the most technologically advanced countries in the world with strong presence in the high-tech industry. Technological innovation impacts the way Americans communicate, work, and consume. So for the first point, automation and artificial intelligence are transforming many industries in the US. They have the potential to increase productivity, but are a concern. Moreover, the US has an aging infrastructure, particularly in areas such as transport and energy. There is a growing need to invest in new infrastructure. For the third point, the US is a world leader in technological innovation. The country is home to many of the world's largest technology companies and has a highly skilled science, technology, engineering, and mathematics workforce. This technological factor can have a significant impact on the United States and its economy. Understanding this factor and their potential impact can help business and policymakers make informed decisions. For the technological impact for India, India has made significant investments in digital infrastructure, including the rollout of broadband internet and the expansion of mobile network. In addition to that, e-commerce is growing rapidly in India, driven by increased internet penetration and growing consumer demand. India has a thriving innovation ecosystem, including many technology startups and world-class research institutions. Companies can leverage this ecosystem to drive innovation and research and development. Overall, technological factors are shaping the business environment in India, and business must keep pace with rapid technology change to remain competitive. For the environmental aspect, for the US faces environmental challenges such as climate change, and water pollution, and biodiversity loss. The US government's environmental policy have an impact on the environment and on industries such as energy and agriculture. The US produces a large amount of waste, and managing this waste is a major environmental challenge. The government has put in place regulation and policy. In addition to that, renewable energy sources such as wind and solar power are becoming increasingly important in the US. The government has set target of increase the use of renewable energy. For the third point, climate change has become a major environmental concern in the US. The country is experiencing more frequent and severe weather events. For the environmental aspect of India, there also are waste management, such as the US. India has generated a significant amount of waste, and proper waste management is a major challenge. There is also air and water pollution. India is one of the most polluted countries in the world, with high level of air and water pollution. Companies operating in India must comply with strict environmental regulation aimed at reducing pollution level. For the third point, climate change, like in the US and in the world, India is highly vulnerable to the effect of climate change, including extreme weather events such as flood and drought. Overall, environmental factors are becoming increasingly important in the business environment in India, and business must take steps to reduce their environmental impact and comply with regulation aimed at protecting natural resources and ecosystem. For the legal aspect, for the USA has a complex legal system with federal and state law, government, public, and private relationship. Regulatory change can also have an impact on industry. The United States has a complex regulatory environment. Regulatory agencies such as the Environmental Protection Agency (EPA) and the Food and Drug Administration (FDA) has the power to enforce law and regulation. In addition to that, in the USA, labor law is governed by federal and state law that cover areas such as minimum wage, overtime pay, workplace safety discrimination, or harassment. And so upon, international trade law is essential for companies operating globally. The United States has a complex system of trade agreement and regulation. This legal factor can have a significant impact on the United States and its economy. Understanding this factor and their potential impact can help business. For the legal aspect of India, the India government has a strong regulatory framework and companies operating in India that comply with a variety of law and regulation. Contract law in India is based on English common law, but there are different that business need to be aware of contract must be in writing specific rule regarding the formation and interpretation of contract. In certain, India has a strict competition law designed to promote fair competition and prevent monopolies. The competition commissions of India enforce this law. Overall, the legal environment in India is complex and business must carefully navigate the regulatory landscape to succeed.
Now I want to present you the entry strategy with how Walmart entered in the Indian markets by the purchasing of 77% of the share of Flipkart. This strategy is a mega acquisition, but what is an acquisition? An acquisition can be defined as an act of one enterprise of acquiring directly or indirectly of shares, voting right, assets, or control over the management of another enterprise. It is a mega acquisition if the purchase is for more than $5 billion. And it's a mega acquisition in this case because Flipkart was bought for $60 billion. Also, Walmart has sold directly to consumer, but in India, adopting this strategy was not feasible due to the certain foreign investment policies and the barriers to entry. So they had no other choices than to adapt India, allow only 51% foreign direct investment, so FDI, in multi-brand retail stores, as it's a vary of displacing the unorganized retailers that form a large majority. Walmart then moved away from selling directly to consumer by opening cash and carry. And cash and carry is an arbitrage strategy that benefits the trader from the mispricing of the underlying assets. Now I'll present you the cultural comparison between India and USA. To start, I want to compare individualism of the USA and the collectivism of India. The United States is known for its individualistic culture, where people are encouraged to pursue their own interests and express their individuality. In contrast, India is more collectivist culture where community and family add great importance. The second point is the hierarchy and the respect for the authority. In the US, the hierarchy at work is generally flatter, with the employee and manager working together in a more collaborative way. Employees are often encouraged to express their ideas and opinions, and the decision making is decentralized and collective. In India, there is a strong respect for the authority and the hierarchy, with a strict social norm on how to address people in authority. Hierarchical levels are clearly defined, and employers are often seen as authority figures. Employees are not encouraged to express conflicting ideas or challenge decisions made by their supports. In addition, important decisions within the company are made vertically by the highest level of management. The third point is the commercial relationship. Business relationships in US are often based on trust, transparency, and speed. Companies are often inclined to take risks and innovate to gain a competitive advantage, and communication is usually direct and transparent. In India, business relationships are often based on personal and family relationships. Indian companies may prefer to work with partners with which they are share personal relationship rather than with foreign companies. Companies can be more prudent in their business decision, and negotiation can take more time.
So now I'm going to talk to you about the challenge and the solution that Walmart faced and put into places. So the first challenge was the language and communication, because India has many regional language and dialect, and English is not the primary language for most of the population. This poses a significant communication challenge for Walmart, as they had to ensure that all stakeholders understood the company's vision and goal. So for that, the solution was the localization of operation. Walmart tailored its operation to meet up the unique need of the Indian market. For example, they introduced a cash on delivery payment option to cater to the large number of customers who prefer to pay in cash. The second challenge was the employee relation. Walmart had to manage the cultural differences between the Indian and American workforce, so they had to ensure that they retain Flipkart existing employees while also integrating Walmart culture and values. So for that, the solution was the integration of culture. Walmart adopted a collaborative approach to integrating its culture with Flipkart. They ensured that both companies shared the same values and worked together to achieve common goals. The third challenge was the regulatory compliance. India had complex regulation governing foreign investment, data protection, and e-commerce. Walmart had to ensure that it comply with all relevant law and regulation while conducting business in the country. So for that, the solution was the collaboration with stakeholders. Walmart worked closely with India, the regulator, supplier, and partner to ensure compliance with local law and regulation. They also engage with local communities to build strong relationships and promote social responsibility. And the fourth challenge is the local market understanding. Walmart are to navigate the complex market in India, which is vastly different from the US market. They had to gain an understanding of the local customer preference, cultural nuances, and the unique supply chain system. So for that, the solution was to build the local expertise. Walmart invested in building a strong local team with deep knowledge of the Indian market and culture. They also hired a local talent to lead the company operation. Overall, Walmart's approach to cultural integration in India has been successful, and Flipkart has continued to grow under its ownships. So now we're going to talk about the cultural theory and framework. There are several cultural theory and framework that could be applied to Walmart acquisition of Flipkart in India, and we choose after cultural dimension. It's based on 6 dimensions that define cultural differences between countries. You can see the different dimension on the slide. As you can see, India has a higher power distance score than the United States, indicating that Indians are more accepting of hierarchical structure and respect of the authority. This may have affected how Walmart interacted with Flipkart employees and customers. Similarly, India has a lower score on individualism and a higher score on collectivism, indicating that Indians place a high value on group harmony and interdependence than on individual goals and achievements. This may have affected Walmart's approach to managing the integration of the two companies. As for the second cultural dimension, that is the Trump network, that is 7 cultural dimensions that you can also see on the slide. There are few differences. For example, the neutral versus the emotional one. India has a higher score on emotionally, which means that emotions are expressed openly and are an important part of communication. This may affect Walmart communicate with Flipkart employees and customers, and how they manage the emotion and expectation of stakeholder and of customer and manager during the acquisition process. And then the achievement versus ascription. India has a relatively high score on ascription, which means that social status and background are important factor in determining one achievement. This may have affected a Walmart approach, the acquisition and integration of Flipkart, and how they manage the expectation of the stakeholder. So, to conclude this presentation, we explore the challenges faced by Walmart when buying Flipkart, with differences in macroeconomic environmental factor and cultural differences that they met operating with the Indian market. It'll help us understand the challenges that a company can meet when buying another one. It is not simple to expand internationally, including by taking into account all the differences that might be faced in another country. Language, way of life, way of consumption, market, business rule. A lot of action needs to be implemented so that stakeholder, employee, and manager evolve in a good place and say that this acquisition was a good deal and it was done right. It is important to put harmony and common sense when interacting and doing business with people from far away. They might not know the same thing, so the best way to do business is to adapt. This is the end of this presentation, and we thank you very much for the attention you gave to it.